Hey, this is Samar Newsome, and you're back with us on the Musicians Shed podcast. I got one of my dear friends with me for many, many years, for decades now, Mr. I'm going to say the whole name, Paul Handel Jerry Compere. Is that all of it?
Close enough. I love it.
I messed it up. Handel. Not Handel. Handel. All right, my brother, how you doing, man?
Yes, sir, man. Good seeing you, brother.
Man, we go back to high school, brother.
Yeah.
William Farley. That's how far we go back.
Oh, wow.
And you didn't even go to my school, but I used to see you at my school.
Yep. Well, I went for a semester.
Oh, you did go to
Irvington.
Irvington. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you was
for a semester.
I'm going to Union.
That was a time where, Irvington was kind of going crazy.
Oh yeah,
my parents was like, we got to move out of this.
Oh, it's crazier now, I think.
Oh, no way.
Oh, Irvington's crazy right now. You know what it is? And I don't want to get into this is politics, so we can get into that. But it doesn't look as like it looked better when we were there. Oh, wow. It doesn't look as I don't know. I'm sure they're doing things. I'm sure that the mayor's doing good things there because he's been there for a while. But it's just some of it just looks kind of bad, honestly. Just driving through it compared to like you see Newark and they building things in Newark. Like they're always doing something. And maybe we don't have in Irvington the places to build, like, you know what I mean? Like Newark has like Prudential Hall Center and NJ Pack and all that stuff, and the Devils and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know if Irvington has the same thing, but
it's looking smaller too.
Exactly. I mean, we were small when we were there, so it probably would look bigger. But anyway, let me come to talk about that. I mean, it was a great place to grow up, and now we're not there. All right, but let's talk about you were, when I met you, you were like, I remember hearing all of these things. You went in piano competitions, all this stuff. How did you get into all of that stuff?
Man, listen, I think my journey is kind of an anomaly. Like, where I started at the age of 3. Wow. And my father used to take me to like concerts all the time and seeing like symphony orchestras in our country in Haiti, and we used to also travel out the country and see like orchestra play and pianists like from around the world playing. Yeah. So that was part of like how I grew up, really, honestly. And I would come home and literally my dad had a piano at the house, and I would get on the piano and literally trying to replicate what I heard.
Nice.
And those concerts I used to go to. So it started that way of him coming home one day. I was 5, and I played, the first movement of Furlis.
Wow.
For my dad. And he was like, what is this?
Right. At 5.
At 5.
What are you doing?
So I started with that, and then my dad was like, man, I got to take you to this conservatory, and I went there. They didn't take me because my fingers were too small. Like teachers really didn't know what to do with me.
Right.
And in full circle, like piggyback to a job that I got, and the same thing was happening similar to that.
Wow.
But we'll get back to that. But so, and then I kept working by myself, and then at 6 years old, they accepted me. And from there, started working with teachers, and teacher was like, no, he's getting too advanced for us. Where my dad had to look for like
a better teacher,
pianist, which was a graduate from Juilliard.
Wow.
So I started working with that teacher from the age of 7.
Wow.
All the way until I remember at 13, she sent me to like a piano competition. So I was playing like mad classical music. That's all I knew.
Right.
A European piano competition with 385 students, I believe.
Wow.
And at that time, competitions were like not like here, like The Voice where everybody do their song.
Yeah.
Back then, it was everybody doing the same.
Yeah. Oh wow. Everybody do the same song.
And then
we're going to see who's the best. Wow.
So that was that kind of competition. So I had to stay in line as a 13-year-old and hear that song literally about 300 sometimes. And I remember, never forgot this, on my birthday. And I went in, and I remember as I stepped in on stage, I went blank.
Wow.
I went blank, and as I sat on the piano, and I closed my eyes, and literally my hands took over.
Oh,
because
wow.
I had practice.
Muscle memory.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, I was the 9-year-old kid that was practicing 6 hours a day.
Wow.
While I was still in school, you know, where my dad, at that time in Haiti, where it was like hardship, where we didn't have electricity, you know, where my dad had to hold a candle for me to practice.
Yeah.
I was 9 years old playing at 11 p.m. at night.
Wow.
You know, because it's like, you're going to put this 6 hours in.
Yeah. You're going to get this
so
time,
that type of thing.
Yeah.
So long story short, did the piano competition. I won.
Wow.
You know, so that started where, you know, from there I got a scholarship to study, like literally in the United States from Temple University, a full scholarship there.
Wow.
And also one of the judges offered me a doctorate opportunity to study in France.
Wow.
Which I never took.
Right.
You know, but that really was the thing, the catalyst that took us to America. My dad was like,
wow,
we moving the entire family because of you.
Wow.
Like, that was a lot of pressure.
That's
right?
big. Yeah. I never heard this story.
Coming here, that's how I got to, it's an interesting story because high school, when I got to Irvington, I did my first semester there, and then everything got crazy.
Like, nah.
We went to Columbia High School.
Oh, yeah.
And then Columbia's, I never forgot, my dad went to the Board of Education, was like, he doesn't have time for all these classes. So I literally passed out of almost all of my high school classes.
Wow.
So in high school, like, which is crazy, I never had math.
Wow.
I never had like biologies, like, because, the European education is so much advanced. So I was doing trigonometry when I was in like third grade situation.
Right.
So literally all I was doing was like learning music, like American history.
Right.
English was a second language for me.
Right.
And I had to do gym.
Okay.
Graduate with that gym.
Yeah.
Then I would go home and practice for the next event. And,
wow.
And, I was fully doing concerts, in different halls and traveling and
that's
doing
amazing.
all of that. Yeah. So
wow.
That's the journey.
That's great, man.
Migrating in this country.
That's great.
So, yeah. Man.
And then you ended up at a little place in Princeton called Westminster Choir College.
I applied there. My dad was like, "Well, you got to go to school, whatever." I applied there. I had a full scholarship. Westminster, from coming from like different conservatory, like I was grateful for it, but I think I knew so much more than what I was learning there, but I've got to learn, like my wife said earlier in one of your podcasts, like, I had to sit there and really like
and take in, because there was probably still other things you could learn.
There was things that I needed to learn, like composition.
Yeah.
How to put vocals together,
right.
Things like this. And, I was introduced to a little bit of orchestration as well, which something that I always felt like that was in me from a young age of listening to orchestras, like how the sound was put together. You know what I'm saying? So to understand how this was made, that was something that I've learned there also. I took with me, and then left school and started grinding just like my wife.
Yeah. It was the grind time.
I started grinding, but met some great people there, like yourself,
sure.
We always stayed in contact, met some, great, professors like Dr. Jordan, my piano teacher, Dr. Ramos Santana.
Yeah.
So those are things that really had, a great impact in me. So, and from there on, I never stopped teaching.
Oh, yeah.
I was teaching.
You had lessons back then. Yeah. Even in high school, right?
Yeah. So from there, like I started teaching on my own, writing and all that stuff. And, I was like, I'm going to try 1 year to teach in school.
Yeah.
And I started teaching in school. So I gained a lot of experience. So that was that journey.
No,
that started this whole life I have now.
No, for sure. What, regarding, let's go back to classical for a second. What was like your favorite piece to play?
I had a favorite
or hardest
composer.
piece, maybe. Oh,
I had a favorite composer. His name was Franz Liszt.
Oh, Liz, yeah,
Liz.
yeah.
You know,
now Liz had big hands or something like that.
Yeah, big hands. I think I injured myself playing Liz. Literally, I had carpal tunnel like as a young kid from playing like Liz and Rachmaninoff.
Yeah.
You know, so those.
I like Chopin.
I love Chopin too, but my teacher was like a Franz Liszt fanatic. So it was like, no, you're gonna get, which was crazy. This is the story. Backtrack a
This is
little bit.
The fingers one?
Before I got to Westminster. I ended up an assistant professor at Juilliard.
Wow.
What was happening at that time was they had an influx of international students that were coming, that a lot of their education was very different. Music education was very different from what a lot of teachers, you know, so they were virtuoso students and all of those things. And a lot of teachers then was like, we don't know what to do with them and everything. It was, you know, and I had a piano teacher here that I was, you know, working with, and the piano teacher was like, "Yo, you should apply for this position." Wow, you know, because I had the skill enough, you know, for all these
probably
years.
the communication.
So I knew that, like, I used to teach Suzuki, you know, method. So I was very. You know, familiar with the Suzuki method, with like Japan and all of that. So, you know, I was very familiar with the language. I was able to get in there and be able to really like help these students that were like crazy student, but their parents was like, yeah, you need to study at Juilliard. Juilliard was
that was the name.
Still, you know, the name, but So, but that's how I got to Westminster, and then so
that's cool, man. So tell me about how. So one of the things, like I said, when I met you, you were like classical. That's all you knew. And I think that with one of those disciplines, that's all you can do. You got to focus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
to be really legit in that, you got to be focused. I mean, I know for us, we got to study with the great J. Donald Dumpson from Philadelphia, who really, like, for me, like, really put a fusion of classical and gospel and soul all together in perspective, like piano wise, vocally, stuff like that. How did that impact you? Because I mean, I don't know. Were you working in churches before that? You could have been working like pipe organ or something. So
what happened is that transition between high school and I got to do a whole lot of things. Like I'm Haitian, and down the street was Wyclef's parents' church.
Okay, gotcha.
So I ended up in the Booger basement.
Okay,
with Clef and all that. And Lauryn Hill went to Austin High School.
Oh yeah, Columbia.
You know, so I ended up playing for these guys.
Okay, nice.
You know, so that's when I started to be like, I don't know if I want to play classical. Like
classical thing is cool, but
it's cool. I love it. But that was the introduction for me.
Yeah.
You know, and then from that, my only gospel thing I knew was really "Oh Happy Day."
Wow.
From what's the
Hawkins?
Yeah,
Edwin.
So that was really as far as I knew. And you know what's crazy? I thought was gospel was listening to Michael Bolton.
You thought that was gospel?
I thought that was gospel. I was like, yo, this man got soul. You know,
some gospel. Some good gospel guy.
So literally, I remember listening to this as a young man.
Wow.
You'd be like, yo, I like this.
So let me ask this question. This makes me backtrack, and then we can go forward in a second. So what was your church experience like before you came to America? Because then that's really what that makes me think about.
It was super Crystal Cathedral high church.
Okay.
It was the pipe.
Was it like hymns and
hymns, the pipe organs and all of that.
Got you.
Right? I would hear something a little bit different when I we'll get missionaries that come. Mm-hmm. So they'll put a little bit of, the Gaithers,
Okay. A little bit of
but we still used to look at them like, nah, you're not safe. Kind of, because we were so like, everything was so high
church,
high church.
Wow.
And,
okay.
So that was my.
So that's perspective. So then when you come back and you see Michael Bolton, "Oh Happy Day," and then "Oh Happy Day" is like a universal, worldwide gospel, but it's a feel good song. It's not really like so much. even though you say when Jesus washed my sins away, it's still just more feel good. It's more feel good. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, anybody international, most of those gospel groups that go international, they're gonna have that in the repertoire.
Exactly.
Because it just translates.
You ain't coming back.
It translates.
Yeah.
So now, how do you transition? You talked about Wyclef, you talked about the Fugees. How do you transition now into more American form of gospel or just music, period? Because it would be all of that.
So I was doing a lot of concerts. I never forgot this. And I think it got to a point, even when I was in school, where I was just like, I can't keep traveling like I was doing. Like, you know, 1 week I'm opening for the NJ Pack when they did the renewal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm there. I'm Dallas, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I need to get me a church job.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember it started by, you know, when I met my wife and her mother. You know, took me and said, "I'm gonna take you."
She said, "You better go to church, boy."
Yeah, you know, it was almost like, let me get you a church job,
okay,
so you can be so you can
sit
to.
And be in it. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So that's when I think it started with me, you know, playing. I was playing at an AME church.
Okay,
you know, so that's when I started really listening to like church. It was not even fully gospel.
Yeah,
like
because AME is a different monster. They have their own hymn book,
exactly.
You know, and they have a format. They'll do some contemporary,
exactly.
But they literally are doing their service. I mean,
while I was in school,
I got my chops in the AME church, so I love an AME church.
Yes, I remember when I was in school, and I think we took a trip. I don't know if you remember this. We took a trip to, I think it was Natalie Wilson and her husband at that time.
Joe Wilson.
Yes, that church that was on Springfield
SOP.
Avenue.
Oh, their church was on 18th Avenue.
Yes, but off of Springfield.
Yeah. It's like off right like one block up from Springfield.
Yeah,
by the park.
I remember. I going to that church. That was really my introduction. That was real gospel.
Like, this
music.
Is gospel. Yeah,
and I remember I hated the B3.
Wow.
I was just like, this is not music. It felt like what you call cacophony. Like it was just like a whole. It felt like everything was smashed together.
Right.
You know,
right.
And I was watching them play. Everything was so close together. I'm like, where's the melody? Where's the beauty? Like I felt like, you know, it's like listening to Happy Day, but they're like playing 10,000 chords with it. It was
right.
Where's the music? And I would leave there, and everybody was like, man, that was hot. I was like, this was terrible. In my head.
Because your purview was from the classical.
So I'm
melodic,
yeah, and everything. So I'm here.
Structure.
But also, which I did not know, that was my introduction into jazz.
Oh, yeah.
So I really, literally, it took me some time, honestly.
Right.
You know, and I remember as a musician, so when I was playing in church where I was like, I gotta learn this. Like if I'm gonna be playing like more traditional churches where
right.
And I remember like playing in church where I would ask musicians, I'm like, yo, can you teach me this? And they were like, no.
Right.
I was just like, you know,
show me this.
The church would hire me as an MD, but I always positioned myself in a posture of a student. Mm-hmm. So I didn't care if I was the MD.
You still want to learn
something from you.
Yeah.
I can learn something from you.
Especially you coming from a different culture, and you had the information to translate into managing and leading, but not necessarily all of the chords and all of the flavors and colors.
I just didn't know the chord. I didn't have the ear to hear it. But I could transcribe them.
Yeah.
So I had the theory to understand what was happening.
Right.
But it was just not being given to me. And over the years, I understood what was happening.
Yeah.
No, I understood what was happening. It was more like, which is crazy because in the musician world, you get to see people's characters and insecurities and all of those things.
Absolutely.
Where I found out it was like more like you have something that everybody seems to like. If I teach you,
then you're gonna have more
the
than
little
me.
part that I have,
you're
gonna take my job.
Right.
Or there's not gonna be any need for me.
Right.
In church, I experienced that a lot.
And that's definitely, absolutely,
exactly.
That's just unfortunately, and it's. I hate. I've seen it, and I've seen it in not be in other places, but definitely in certain places. And then I criticize where we come from, like in North Jersey sometimes, not because we got some of the most amazing musicians ever. And there's a bit of exclusivity in some of the culture there, too.
Oh, my God. I experienced that food. Like, I know it probably was different for you, but I experienced it.
No, I experienced it.
Okay.
I did have people who would show and be like, yo, check this out. And when I was in high school, I remember, I forget the kid's name, but he showed me like the first, like, I think it was a Hezekiah Walker song. All right now, think I'll make it. He showed me how to play that. And I mean, I still ain't get all of it from him, but my mom was a pianist and she had a piano at home. And so I learned a lot more that I realized just sitting in her rehearsals, because my mom was a choir director.
Okay.
And she was an organist. And so I didn't know I was learning. I was like a drummer. Yeah. But I was learning everything. I was learning harmonies. I was learning how to teach parts. I was learning everything, not even knowing I was learning. I was just there. You know what I'm saying? I had to be there. Like, sit your behind down. But it was school.
But you know, and I think that's the thing for me, bro. I'm telling you, I didn't even have that. And I was like struggling.
Well, you had a different thing. You had teachers, you had people from Juilliard. So by the time you got to this part, you had to figure out how to connect those dots.
That's what I'm saying. That was the most difficult part because I couldn't connect it.
Yeah.
Number one, my ear was not trained.
Right. You were reading.
What was I was reading, and I was trying to make sense of classical music. Yeah. Like I'm able to compose a whole Baroque piece because I understand Baroque. So I understand the rules that goes
styles,
with that, the melodic, the Renaissance. I can do that in my now. Like, you know, I can do that because I understand the whole mechanism of it. But the thing is that gospel, it was just like my ear was not tuned. And believe it or not, a lot of things, like somebody told me one time, it was like, you just need to sit with it.
Yeah.
And there's some things in music that you can learn, but there's some things in music that is caught.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't understand what they were saying, where I started really like literally listening and tuning my ear to be like, oh my God, this is blues.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of things. It's all of those things.
That's what I'm saying. So I seen the blues in some things, and also I started listening. I'm like, they're doing the same progression in like 10 songs.
Yeah. Well, once you get one or two, it's like, we just did the same. Kirk, he likes these chords. You know what I'm saying? And like,
so I would gravitate.
Richard Smallwood.
Exactly. So I would gravitate to Kirk.
Yeah.
Richard Smallwood, because they both had a classical.
Oh, absolutely. They had a very accessible style. Whereas, you know, you get into the choirs, you had a lot more colors, a lot more iterations and arrangements and stuff. Listen, I had the same journey as a pianist, so I understand. And you know, some things you had to sit there and struggle to. There's no, and you find it. And I found in anybody, I would recommend this to this day. Yeah. I've learned a lot as a musician writing music. Wow. When I started writing music, like I used to have a group in high school, and I would write songs for that group, right? Wow. R&B songs.
Yeah.
But I learned progressions, and I remember I showed my teacher from high school. I showed him a chord that I was playing. It was a cluster seventh chord. Yeah. So like if you spelled it normally, it'd be 1 3 5 7, right?
Yeah.
But I was playing it like 5 7 1 3. So it was a cluster.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what chords you playing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I studied it that I actually could know this stuff. But again, stuff is caught. Like I was into like reverse engineering stuff. Like, okay, I don't understand this, but this is what it looks like. Let me see how it makes sense. Yeah. And it wasn't until I went to Westminster till started understanding theory, like 5 to 1s and progressions that it made sense though.
And I think for me, that's what I was waiting for, because I understood that.
But
nobody was
showing me the colors.
Yeah, I was like, So when somebody would show me something, I'm like, oh, this is it.
This is just this. Yeah.
You know, but it's like, you know,
I've had one of those interactions with you before. I remember you were like, "Oh, this is just."
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Honestly, and you one of the few people that took time and be like, no, this is that, this is this. But the majority of things that I've learned, I've learned on my own or literally writing for my wife when my wife was recording.
Yeah.
So where that was the time where Jill Scott was coming out and everything. So I would listen to this stuff and be like, oh, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So in writing music for her, I'm like, I got it.
Yeah.
So now I would take this, I'm going to apply it here.
Yeah.
And then that started that whole journey where my ears were open.
They open. Yeah. I think if there was a case to be made, because I think we talked about so many different things, just things getting easier for like up and coming musicians, creators. Like there's just so many tools where you don't even have to create anymore, to be honest with you. You could just have a piece of an idea and it could be created into something, or you can know what you're doing, know what you're talking about, because I think if you're going to be an MD, you got to be able to communicate, and you got to know how your musicians communicate.
Direction.
Like, I had to write charts at one point. And then when people didn't understand charts, I remember I worked with somebody that was amazing, Stanley Brown. And I pulled out a chart. He was like, yo, I don't read charts. He said, if you got a number chart, that's different. I said, okay. So I wrote out, you can go into software now and tell. But like, it's just, it doesn't matter how they need to know. It's about being able to communicate. That's really the job. So, I mean, you worked at one of the biggest churches, especially when they were like building their way to it. And we had many conversations back then. Tell me about that experience, because you got to see it before it really blossomed into what it is now. Yeah.
I mean, it was already, let's put it like this. It got big even while I was there, but now it's like massive.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But, I got there. That experience, man. Wow. It was not so much of a new experience for me.
Right. Because that wasn't the first one. I
had come from this church named Greenwood Christian Center.
Okay. That was in Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
Yeah. How did you get to Tulsa?
Man,
how did you get to? Y'all just up one day and was in Tulsa. I'm like, Tulsa.
I know. This is exactly
how
I felt.
What's the big crusade guy from Tulsa?
What's his name?
Was it
Carlton Pearson?
No, Oral Roberts.
Yeah, Oral Roberts.
What y'all going? Oh, are you?
I know. So Carrie's my wife's sister went to school to Oral Roberts.
Got you. That makes
invited
sense.
us and everything. And
then so now I know how you got to Tulsa.
I know. Now we got to the church and he was like,
I remember when you
gotta play.
I remember
you
when
gotta play and everything. So me and Carrie does what we do, and we played in one of their service and everything. And the bishop came to me and was like, "What do I need to do to get you here?"
Wow.
And I said nothing. I know. I literally, because I wasn't thinking about coming. I'm like, no, Tulsa. I say, Bishop, I didn't even know there was a place named Tulsa. Like literally, I just learned about the history of Tulsa when I got there. I never knew anything about it. Yeah. So, and I never forgot. I was like, no, I'm not coming. I was like, you thinking about it? I was like, no. And by the time we got home, literally, there was a contract.
Wow.
It was like, tell us what you want. It's one of those beautiful contracts.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
You do the numbers.
Yeah.
And at that time, I wasn't making that much money. I wasn't making money, but I'm like, I'm gonna give him something he has to refuse.
Yeah.
And I never forgot. I just threw a number. I'm like, he's gonna refuse it because nobody paying musician that.
Right.
And he was like, yep, we'll take it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, no, And
I should have been like, yes. I could have said more though.
I know. And I got to Tulsa and that journey of me being there, I've learned so much about what it is to really direct a team of musicians and being there. And we was doing like major productions. My wife became involved and the team, doing production there. Like we used to have major conferences.
So you brought your whole family there?
Yes.
That's crazy.
My whole family. Like,
what were you thinking? No,
dude, I don't know what I was thinking. But one of the things is, I think I always live my life. I'm never, I would say, complacent.
Right.
I'm never comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I always knew where I wanted to go and what I wanted to learn and where I wanted to end up. So
right.
Wherever that looked like, wherever that path is, I'm like, let's go.
Just do it. Yeah.
Take the risk. So there, got to play for people like Miles Monroe. The man, that's one guy I can tell you that changed my entire life.
Yeah.
On how I looked at life as a musician, or how I looked at the world and how I needed to move. So that experience was amazing. Like, got to play for Wayman Teasdale. I don't know if you remember. A lot of these
he was
guys
a basketball player and
turned into musician.
Yeah.
From there, I went to play for Charlie Wilson.
Okay.
Oh, all these guys from Tulsa.
From being in Tulsa. Wow.
Yeah, man. So all of these, countless of other musicians that were there. And then, when my wife went in to do Broadway, I kept the kids. I was like, go.
Yeah.
And then after a year.
How did they like Tulsa, by the way?
My kids?
Yeah.
My kids, I think they remember their childhood being in Tulsa.
Wow.
They don't remember any of their childhood being
in Jersey.
Wow. It's crazy, right?
That's hard to think about.
Literally, my daughter's memory is Tulsa.
Wow.
Yeah. So her best friend is still there now.
Wow.
So we got to, we made a lot of great relationship, and before I left, I was doing production with, Michael Todd.
Wow. With Transformation.
Yeah, Transformation Church. Yeah. But there was no Transformation Church.
Right.
And I remember, even talking to him, about coming and do sound at Greenwood, which is now Transformation.
Right.
And I remember going back to my bishop, I'm like, man.
Oh, that's the same church?
Yeah, same church.
I didn't know that.
So, talking to my bishop, like, you need to bring him because I'm leaving.
Right.
And I remember he was a musician. I only knew him as a musician.
He was a drummer, right?
Yeah. He's a drummer. Yeah. He had a group.
Wow.
And I never saw preaching.
Wow.
I never saw it.
That's crazy.
And then I knew him as a sound. So when he came as a sound
guy,
guy
recently with
Ty Tribbett. With Ty Tribbett.
Yeah.
So it's when I left and came back here, and a couple months later he became the youth pastor. A couple months later, I mean, it went. But crazy. But it was a great experience, being in Tulsa. So when I came back here, I was like, what church am I gonna go to?
Right.
Because I got all this kingdom message and teaching. I'm like, I can't go back to a normal church. And I literally went on Google, I never forgot, and I typed Kingdom Church.
Wow.
And then pastor.
You found Kingdom Church?
and I found Kingdom Church. And I saw that they were looking for an MD.
Wow.
And I applied for the position. And I remember, talking and they said that pastor want to interview you because he remember you before you left. So before I left to go to Oklahoma, he was coming to New Jersey.
Wow. So
we knew each other briefly.
Right.
So, and that journey started there, and me putting the band, strengthening the band. They had a band already. So, but we were working with the band, Sunday were a whole production.
Yeah.
And I served there for 12 years.
Wow. That's crazy.
Crazy.
So what was one of your great takeaways from that experience? Because I mean, again, he's an amazing teacher too.
Yes.
So,
well, the thing is that the teaching I got there, as a leader, it's important that you prepared.
Yeah.
The preparation, you need to know everything. You need to know everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You need to know their part.
Yeah, absolutely.
As an MD, I learned so many principles. I had a lot of great principles already, being on time. I was at that church for 13 years and I never been late once.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
But the integral part of, being prepared and make sure that the music is done with integrity, that was for me that, the assignment that was given to me, and also how to take a sermon series and make sure that song is appropriate for that. So there was whole nother side of an MD.
Almost
you're just not playing. You know, you just have to make sure things align with churches, the discipline of an MD to make sure that, he's a dope drummer, but you got to keep him in pocket.
Yeah.
Because it is church.
Yeah.
Not a shed.
Right. It's
you know what I'm saying? To make sure that
and you're supporting the service.
Exactly. Yeah. So the discipline and keeping musician, focus on the main goal.
Yeah.
You know, on the job at hand. So those are the things that, for me, my takeaway of having that experience now that I take with me.
Yeah.
You know, on the road, like when I'm playing for artists. Yeah. So
what was one of your challenges as an MD? I mean, I had a lot of challenges, but not a lot, but a few, but they really all revolve around people.
So one of my challenges I can say is musicians wanting to be an MD, but really not having the capacity and the skill of an MD, not playing, but the skill of creating. Yeah, you know. So I think dealing with musicians that, that did not understand their role. I think that was one of the things that I think was a challenge. Yeah, and also musicians that are very skillful, but don't learn the material. Yeah. And then filibuster their way to the songs. Yeah. So that was and for me, having to correct them and telling them, you can play, but you're not playing the song. Exactly. So that
which is an interesting thing. I mean, you want to have relationships. Yeah. You want to build rapport, but you also have to hold some kind of standard, what I'm saying? And especially when it comes to the groove or the beat or the notes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I work with some amazing musicians. I mean, everybody I got the opportunity to work with, I was blessed to be able to lead or work with. And again, sometimes it's like, nah, that wasn't the note. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you got to kind of have a handle on what is supposed to be there. I mean, a lot of times I would let some people just kind of like interpret as they did, or at least like I had the confidence in them. Like you learn the music, for the most part, and then you take it and add yourself to it a little bit.
And I always created room for that. I want you to have your I would say your authentic way of transcribing that, but with the foundation of what we need. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. I have musicians that are very colorful, right? So I want them to be able to do that, but not at the expense of what I call the skeleton
of the whole thing.
Of the songs.
Yeah.
Because when we all need to be on that 4,
everybody needs to be there.
I don't need you to be in the midst of a run.
Right.
So that kind of thing. So add color as needed. Yeah.
And I think you got to find spots.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I think
placement.
For me, it's all about pocket and spots.
Yes.
And now, like, I even now when I'm leading the band I play with now, I'm like, there's a spot for you, guitar. Like, exactly. Or even with my band, when we used to do weddings and casinos and all the gigs and stuff, there's a spot. Yeah. Even if you just say, you know what, I want to solo some more, I'll find a spot for you. Yeah. But you got to wait for that spot.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to discipline so that spot happens on purpose. And on purpose with everybody in mind. Because I always feel like you have to...
That's the word, everybody in mind.
As an MD, you got to care.
Yes.
About everybody.
Yes.
And you got to be able to communicate with everybody in their language.
Of course.
Because, like, let's say, a drummer is a different language than a bass player probably.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of what you want them to do, how you talk to them. But even just to the groove, even though, like, you just got to know so much. You know what I mean?
Of course.
One guy I worked with, and he was an MD in his own right, like, for years. But he was gigging at our church, and he would just be like, yo, man, you got big ears, bro. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, yo, you hear everything. Like, you and that's what you need. You got to be able to know how to correct, know what to correct.
Yep.
sometimes you got to just, let something go because it's not worth the confrontation.
Of course.
But ultimately, you have to get everybody on the same page. So.
No, and that's, you have to take this per.
Yeah, absolutely.
Per job. You know what I'm saying? So I think, there's certain settings I allow that room.
Yeah.
And there's certain settings I
where
don't.
It doesn't. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I need something very specific done, especially if I'm playing for artists. Mm-hmm. That's different from church where we can feel.
Well, we're part of it.
Yeah, we're part of
the artistry.
Yes.
If it's an artist, it's their show.
Yes.
You got to give them
you understand
what
I mean? So
for.
there's certain things that I want to happen, there. So I need you to play these notes. I have an artist that I develop a whole show for. He does a tribute to Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Right. So his management wanted me to scale the show up to a big band show. Right. So took what they had and scale it to a big band show.
Yeah.
But he's telling a story in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Right? So there's things are very in timing.
Yeah.
That I don't need what you're feeling that day.
Right.
On that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we playing a show that's an error.
I was about to say the style matters.
The style matters.
Yeah.
So it comes with the different settings and who you're doing it for. But in church, particularly, I allow that room to a certain extent for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I mean, like I said, I've had challenges with people you don't want to let go. You have to, but you don't want to. And I pleaded with people like, bro, you're killing.
Yeah,
we want you.
Yeah,
but you gotta show up on time. Oh. Like it doesn't matter how good you are. Man. If you're not here when I need you, then that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
You have no idea how many times I had to make executive decisions of letting someone go. Yeah. Because I would say this. And a musician, and I know you experienced that. Like some of the most important gigs or the most lucrative gigs that I've played have been with musicians that were not the dopest.
Right. Absolutely.
And sometimes I go to cities and you see musicians they're killing, right? And you're like, how come you here?
Right.
And then you work with them, or you spend just a few minutes, be like, "Oh, this is why you're here."
Right.
Because of all these character issues that surrounds your talent,
and not being disciplined is a character.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We get musician. It's like you're playing for artists, and they shedding with the artists.
Yeah,
I seen artists fire musicians,
or they going to
right there,
or they going to talk to the artists. To broker their own deal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And there's a code to it. And I mean, I'm not saying you don't figure out how to build yourself, but there's a way that you do it. You got to respect the way that you get there.
So many of those, bro.
Oh yeah.
I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Where it's like I think it works hand in hand.
Yeah.
With artists, like your character, your discipline.
Yeah.
And
with
your
the
talent.
skills, with the skills. Yeah. I love a skilled musician, man.
Me too.
Singer, keyboardist, drummer, bass player, guitar. I love it. Horns, whatever. And I love a disciplined player because I'll tell you, the best players I've ever played with that work everywhere. Yeah, they're not looking to be seen. They're not looking to be heard.
I know.
Those are not the people trying to prove themselves. They're already where they are. I've worked with my mentor, and I was leading my mentor.
Yeah.
Dude got all the credentials, tour around the world.
Yeah.
And he's like, what you want me to do? Pocket on this pad on the organ? Cool. And then if it's a moment, he gonna take it.
Yeah.
We're gonna bounce off. But that's to me where your level of professionalism is at its maturity, where you ain't trying to prove no more.
Yes.
You gonna show when it's time to show.
Oh, of course.
But you ain't gotta prove. You know what I'm saying?
Something. I have a drummer I work with. And this guy, I literally do most of my gig with him. If I call somebody else, it's because he really can't.
Because he couldn't do it. Yeah.
But this guy, he will come. I've never seen someone study music.
Details.
Like
yeah, that's important.
Like he will come. He would know. He would have his pads.
Yeah.
At time, he will be like, "What are we doing with this spot right here?" I'm like, great. Like, yo,
what do you think we should do?
I'm like, and I will lean into him.
Yeah, I love,
and I have another bass player that I work with. I think those two things, as an MD, when you have those two components in the right place,
then you can kind of
add everybody else.
I mean, you just need them not to get in the way, but you kind of could you could be. I mean, listen, that's one of the things when I was, again, with the band that I got to lead for a decade. One of the things we would call in whoever we could get sometimes because our main guys wouldn't be there. But if the rhythm section was good, we good. Drums, bass, keys, we good. We'll add, horn. And horns are just reading charts sometimes.
Yeah.
So, they will follow suit with our horns, who was there.
Exactly.
Singers was, you got to have the right singers too.
Exactly.
But the sound was there. You know what I'm saying?
If you miss those two components,
you it's hard.
Nothing.
It's hard without that.
Yes,
it's hard.
So and those are the guys I keep calling.
Yeah.
That I know.
Yeah, I like low maintenance people. I like to call people who
they
got no drama. They show up on time.
Man.
They go above and beyond by just doing normal stuff. Like they do the ordinary thing extraordinarily well.
Yes.
That's the thing. People think like you gotta. I don't care if you don't chop on the whole job. If it didn't require it, I don't need you to chop.
Me too.
That's the whole job,
and I think
you're gonna work. I've been telling drummers for all my career. Like I've always mentored the drummers because again, I grew up when it would just be me on organ and a drummer.
Yeah.
So and that would be the service.
That would be the service.
And so before I got to bass players and bringing them into the fold, I just would mentor drummers and say, listen, man, like I love that you can play chops, and I need you to play the pocket.
Yep.
I need you to wait for that moment. And if it don't come, I need you to be okay and get paid because you'll get paid a lot more. And every drummer I've mentored like that, they work.
Yep.
Every single one. They work.
Yep.
So, it's a thing.
I'm a creative too. So I will create moments like for me for musician to shine because, I like that part. But for me, I think it's a per job.
Yeah.
So
I had to learn how to be disciplined myself. I had
to
discipline myself. Like you learn how to do something, you want to show it, or you know the song very well.
Exactly.
But you have to it's just like anything else. It's like how you approach dating maybe.
Exactly.
You don't want to be overzealous trying to you're gonna look like a fool.
Exactly.
You want to keep it cool. When it's the moment,
that's what I'm saying. For me, that's why I love the era when the CCM came into place.
Oh, that just made it simpler, and you ain't had no choice but to be.
But I saw so many insecurities in musicians.
Wow. Oh, about keys, A major, D major. Like you had to know your key. E major.
What?
Oh my God.
Not only that is the discipline of not doing.
Of not playing, not coloring. Yeah.
Not coloring.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with coloring.
7 passing chords.
Yeah.
It's going from that 1 to the 4.
Yeah.
And back.
If the song is just 1, 4, 5, that's the song.
And I think that's one of the things, I was able to teach like musician that I was teaching, like that I was leading, is touch, sound,
dynamics. Yeah.
It's like those things matter.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is a moment?
You want to build. You want crescendo. You want decrescendo. You want pianissimo.
Exactly.
You want forte. You want all of these things because those things are recognizable by anybody.
Exactly.
You don't have to be musical to know that it was soft and then it grew.
Exactly.
And the person builds inside of themselves when that's happening. Like,
how do you make
something's
a singer
happening.
sing?
Yeah.
Like play, like, okay, calling an audible there.
Yeah.
We're going to change the inversion.
Yeah.
The inversion is going to open up the voice of the singer.
Yeah.
Just put them in a place where, like, those are the things that I took time to be like, you're not just leading, you shifting things. How do you create this moment and experience as a unit?
Nah, for sure.
Yes.
What would you say are the criteria for being a strong MD?
Ooh. I would say first, your preparation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's one. Your ear. to everyone else.
Explain that. Unpack that.
It's really, again, it goes back to really hearing what every instrument's supposed to do.
Yes.
You know, like if you're playing ox for me, do not play my strings.
Don't
like
double my
chords.
Exactly.
Like if I had violins playing,
right?
You know,
you got to think like a violinist.
You got to think like a violinist.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to use your phrases.
Yeah.
Like da, da,
dynamics. Yeah.
The dynamics and everything. Understand that as an MD. So when they do what they do, you're able to understand how it fits.
Oh yeah.
If it's not being done right,
then it don't sound like it fits. It clutters.
It doesn't feel like this is not strings.
Yeah.
You play chords.
This is not strings. No, it's crazy. When it wasn't until I really started playing with my band that I really learned these things. Because the band had horns. Yeah. It had the rhythm section, it had the singers. And I had to, when we played old school music like Kool and the Gang or, Bustin' Loose, stuff like that had parts.
Yeah.
Or EWF. Yeah. When you really listen to those music, like that's why if I was gonna be a musician starting right now and I wanted to play in a band, you got to listen to the great bands. Yeah, you have to, because your part is not as intricate as you think. No, and sometimes, like I said, growing up just an organist and drummer, you filling in everything. You filling in chords, melody, bass, everything. And when you have to dial that back, it's different. It takes discipline.
It takes a lot of discipline.
And when I had to learn these first parts, like first there was another MD, and he had to tell me like, "Yo, you playing too many notes. You playing too many chords."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo," so when it get 3 notes, 2 notes sometimes, I'm like, "What is this? I'm not even playing."
Exactly.
But it doesn't. It fits. It's like you said. What'd you say? Lego.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like there's a way that you can play this where it fits perfectly.
So
you got to know that. But
production will do that to you too.
Actually, yes.
So that's another component where I started diving in production a lot more, and be like, oh wow, I don't need. I'm sure playing one hand.
Yeah.
These keys.
Yeah.
Because I have other things that's playing.
That's already in those frequency places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and I think so as an MD, I think you have to have a level of production.
Yeah.
And you to know how to piece things together.
Yeah.
To give you what you need in the direction that
you got to sometimes assign parts too. You got to say, I need you on strings. I need you to play, a lead or a synth or something.
Exactly.
A pad.
And I think the leadership part as well.
Yeah.
How do you motivate your band?
Yeah.
To understand why they do what they do and how their part plays a vital part into the main.
Yeah.
As an MD, I think you like the tree, and have them understand that your 2 notes that you play makes a difference.
Absolutely.
And play it with pride. Play it, so kind of really
and be on time. Play it where it goes.
Yes. You understand what I mean? So I think that's the part, that's another characteristic of as a leader also that you have to cultivate.
Yeah.
Keep cultivating and understanding. Yeah. So I think
how do you build good culture though? So let's say you got the right musicians, you got the music. How do you build and keep culture as an MD?
Well, I think it's time. Yeah, it's time that you spend with each individuals.
Mm-hmm.
It's time that you spend individual listening also to music. So sometimes, like I said, the best band hang out together.
Yeah.
That's another way of building culture.
That was something when I was in the one band, the guy told us like he read something about Questlove saying that the Roots would hang out every Sunday.
Yeah.
They would just hang out. No music, they just hanging. Building chemistry. Not even like about building musically. Right. You're going to do that. You're going to practice. But just building chemistry. And that's important.
And crazy thing is that's so true because the bass player that I play with now, that I call for my gigs, I started understanding him and his approach even more when I started hanging out with him to see the kind of person he was.
Right. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So the kind of person he was taught me his approach. So therefore, I started even when I was writing. I'm like, this is how you gonna approach this.
And I think it's vice versa too.
Yeah.
I think they learn about you as
well. Oh yeah,
well.
of course.
Like, okay,
you would know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like
and
that.
it's like you said, caught. Some things are caught. I think those are things that are caught just in, again, building, just vibing.
Yeah, man.
So.
So I think that's a great way to build culture. Culture is formed by repetitive habits.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's good. That's good.
So
tell me.
Good ones.
Oh yeah. Well, good habits, right?
Be with bad culture.
You got to do a scoring for a film on Netflix.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh man, during the pandemic, I got a call by a very good friend of my wife that had wrote a poetry. Just put it out there on the internet, like about I think it was about Amar robbery. I'm not so sure if I'm saying his name.
Okay.
Right. The guy that got killed that was jogging, I think.
Oh yeah, not which one is that? There was several. Not Trayvon.
No. Omar something.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but
okay.
He's he wrote a like a spoken word poem,
okay,
whatever,
gotcha.
and put it out. And someone from I think from Sony, an executive from Sony saw it and contacted him and be like, I would love to develop a animated thing with that, And at that time they started working together, but they needed a score for it. But at that time, these people had like all these network. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think John Legend was supposed to score this.
Oh, wow.
That's what they was going to do, but they wanted something to present to him. To be like, okay, this is kind of like the direction, the vibe we want, and for him to take it. So originally, I was not the person supposed to score this.
Right.
And I never forgot. I think he called me like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon and was like, man, can you put something together, like, we're trying to present this, so we can get a direction or whatever. Mind you, I've been scoring since 2010.
Right.
I never had an opportunity, but I'm like, I want to be ready.
Just practicing. Yeah.
I literally, now I have like a whole 3 terabytes of nothing but scores.
Wow.
Like I've been working on for years. I was like, bet. You called me at 4 o'clock?
Right.
And he was like, yeah, send it to us if you can. We on a timeline, whatever. I hung up the phone and I went straight to my studio upstairs. And he just sent me the thing. The file was big at that time. Like, it's like my computer was shaking. That's how big those files were. But my low computer, I went in, bro. I closed my eyes and I was listening to the thing, and it was like, you gotta compose now.
Yeah.
So I had to compose to what I was seeing. I did the first draft of this score by midnight.
Okay.
I mean, complete.
Yeah.
And I sent it. The next day, he called me. He was like, yeah, the executive guy wanna get on the phone with you.
Wow.
And the guy got on the phone with me and it was like, who the heck are you? Like, normally this music,
they would know
like
who
this
you
takes
already.
time.
Yeah.
He was like, man, we really love
They
this.
didn't know you've been learning all your life just for this moment.
I know. So he was like, we love this. Like, and they were talking among each other on the thing. He was like, I don't think we need to get this to John Legend.
Wow.
Like, I think we want to work with this.
Yeah.
That's dope. And really in the interim time, in production, I never knew there was like people that look at all those details and everything. So long story short, I had to almost rewrite this score like 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Because we're like, yeah, let's do this way, let's do that this way. I was like, oh my God, like these guys are like,
yeah, but that's what
they would tell me what they want. I would go and do it, and they come back and be like, oh, we don't want this no more.
Right.
And I go back, but I was like this.
But you're getting different versions.
I was ready.
Yeah.
I was like this, and
Yeah.
then after that, They was like, man, like we played this with some major executive producers. Netflix wants.
Wow.
Netflix listened to it. They love it. They want to produce this. So I was just like,
amazing.
Yo. So that's how it happened.
That's amazing, man.
And it's in there right now. I think it's called Cops and Robbers.
Okay, got you.
You can go on Netflix and watch it right now.
You can hear his work right now.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah,
So what's a lesson what was a hard lesson you learned in your journey so far?
Woo! I would say, because I'm in a different place right now as a musician, valuing time.
Yeah.
Not all time is to be filled.
Wow. That's good.
Because sometimes, I don't like to use that word, but I'm a hustler by nature.
Yeah.
Right?
You hustle.
But one of the things I'm noticing is I'm the most productive when I carve out time of nothing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Same.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like I'm started valuing
having time for you
for
whatever it is you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I, because of that, I have left positions that I was doing very well on.
Yeah.
Because it was robbing me of my time.
Right. And it's crazy. It's crazy you say that because, again, like, we find ourselves in similar places. Like, where, for me, at first I was reluctant to move on from those things because there's safety in it, there's comfort in it. Of course. But in hindsight, I'm like, there was no other way. Yeah. Like, I had to do it because sometimes you can get wrapped up in building somebody else's vision and you're not even minding your own vision. Robert Kiyosaki used to say, mind your own business, meaning your business. Like you have your own business, not just like your affairs, but your business. Yeah. What are you building legacy for yourself? Yep. And sometimes look, part of our journey is learning through building somebody else's business. And you learn some amazing things. I've learned some amazing things. But there's also a time when now it's like you got to go build your business. Of course. You got to go build you so that your brand is on this earth as well because God made you for that.
And I think that's when I say there's a difference between your job and your work.
What's the difference?
So the work is what you do to survive and take care of your family. Right. Your job was what you were created here to do. Yeah. It's to leave as well. And I think a lot of people don't make the difference on that. Yeah. And the job, when you tap into your job and you really focus on your job, you will find out that God put you here to be in a position. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And when it start working, the ceiling is off.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like I'm doing things right now that I never thought was part of my purpose. Right. And what is bringing me in return is more than what I was doing. Right. That was the work and trying to come. Yeah. And which I talk to you later about, but it's like I'm like, who would have thought that that was part of my purpose?
Absolutely.
But knowing that if I didn't leave those things that were comfortable, number one, I wouldn't have time.
You wouldn't have time for it. Absolutely.
I would not have time for it.
Absolutely.
And I would have never challenged myself to do this.
Right. No,
God is showing me like, this is where I created. This is what you really supposed to be doing. Yeah. Of what? And I'll show you.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Less time.
Yeah.
I never thought I would make money not playing.
Right. Nah, that's true.
Now, like how God showed, like, I'm gonna use your brain,
yeah,
your voice,
and as we get older,
I'm gonna use your voice,
and
your voice is gonna start making more.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, that resonates with me. I remember there was a time when I would fill up my schedule with everything. I was hustling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's a session,
I had full jobs.
If it's a job, yeah, absolutely,
Sunday.
absolutely. And listen, there's a season for it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But I think that as you get more mature, as you live a little bit, as your body starts really talking to you as well, you understand, like, you want to work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And not that you don't put a hard work in, you do, but you also find ways to elevate what you're doing to a level of, one, a bigger audience.
Yep.
With bigger return on less.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You get more from less.
Longevity.
Yeah. And so, it's sometimes it takes a little bit more work and time up front to get there. Yeah. But then by the time you get there, it's like the payoff is like ridiculous. And I love that you said the ceiling's off. That's such a crazy idea, but it is. And in just making that decision, you allow yourself to be aligned for that. Because otherwise you wouldn't be aligned for that. What? There's a ceiling on what you're doing if you're working for anybody, to be honest with you.
And let me tell you, I'm seeing it now. Like,
yeah,
I have some things that, like, in the works that I'm working on now.
Yeah.
I'm like, none of it involved me playing.
Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and I'm already started already.
Yeah.
But it's just watching how this can evolve.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of the business things that I've done, like, my bag business and everything, is like, so, but, which I need to, like, get back to
put some time into it, right?
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I think it's all of it is part of what we were here to do. You know what I'm saying?
There's a purpose to it.
Yeah, man. Sure. So I'm here for it. I'm here.
I'm all into, like, I think my next transition would be like TV and film, because I love it.
So you're talking my language right now.
It's something I just love, and even from music, but not even just music, like just film. I'm fascinated with it, and I did a documentary during the pandemic, not thinking to do it.
Yeah.
A friend of mine approached me to do one, and the idea of it resonated with me so much, and I ended up doing one. His was about where he's from.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna do one about from where I'm from, because it made sense for me. Just hearing, like, the idea, and mine was different, but still, just I would like that idea just ignited in me. You know what I'm saying? And now it's done. You know what I'm saying?
And I think this is not trying to be too spiritual, but and
no, be
God
spiritual.
God has God's blessings and favors are in timing.
Yes.
Right?
They're released at specific times. Yeah.
In timing.
I agree.
So all he wants from us is the obedience of stepping in those things.
Right.
And sometimes, we like to say, hey, this is a new field for me. I need to pay my dues. When you're in timing, God will bypass the dues.
Yeah.
And people will be like,
or
nobody was talking about Samar doing film. I think Samar is in a one show for the next thing.
But I don't even think he bypasses the dues. I think he has his own way of allowing you to go through those dues. I think you always pay the dues.
No, you
but
pay.
I think there's a way that he can bring you through it where you're not even thinking about dues at the time.
And I'm saying
you're just doing it. Like when I did it, it was a passion project for me. And now I'm just like, oh, I know how to do that now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like I know how to edit a film now.
Exactly.
I know how to create. So definitely. Like I think. But like you said, on everybody else's radar for it, it's like you came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's sometimes when we talk about dues, we equate that with a length of time.
Right.
When you're in favor, that length of time shorts in.
Yeah.
And then God is like, No, you're operating, and this is your time now.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
So I would say when you have these ideas, those are not just your ideas.
Yeah.
I think it's God's ideas.
It's God's ideas that are seeds.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's crazy you saying that. I mean, there's a scripture. Obviously, I think it's in Ecclesiastes where it says there's a time and season for everything under the sun.
Yep.
Even us, even the success that God has for us, the path that He has for us.
Exactly.
So I think that is. I think that's, you don't have to be spiritual to understand that.
Yeah.
I think people know that. A baby has 9 months to grow in the womb.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
that's time.
Yep.
And that does not change. Yes, you have different circumstances, but overall that's the timing. That's the season. So I think looking at it from that perspective, you can definitely understand that things, and you just pay attention to the patterns though.
Exactly.
So,
don't let your time come and you're not ready.
So preparation is key.
Yeah. So I think that's, so we're in the same journey. Pretty much,
yeah. Well, we've had intervals where we were roommates in college. We met in high school. So I mean, God has obviously
always had
us in a parallel.
Yeah.
And I feel like that about like a lot of my friends. It's like although I've seen people go all the way up here and be able to applaud them, I've had my moments in high places, so I can appreciate all of it, and now I'm like, I'm wiser now than anything I've ever known. Like I thought I knew stuff 10 years ago. I didn't know nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Compared to like now, and what I know now, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be like, you ain't know nothing.
But it's part of evolution, and I think we all need growth, to welcome that as part of our life. Like what I liked 5 years ago, I don't anymore. Like certain music, just don't speak to me anymore.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, this is not where I am in my life. And then certain music, sometimes people will hear me listen to certain things. Like my son will be like, I thought you didn't like this.
Yeah.
Or like, so I think we all evolving.
Absolutely.
Into, who we're supposed to be. We were meant to be.
Absolutely.
So I think I welcome all of it.
I think we got to stay open to that though, and not just be what we call in the education world a fixed mindset.
Yeah,
where it's just like this is it. No, you can be open and learn something new and say, okay, I didn't know that, or I didn't look at it that way.
Yeah, and
now seeing it from that perspective opens up a whole new world of things to me.
Exactly.
So what So, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, you're an accomplished pianist. You're a teacher.
Yeah.
What is something that you teach your students now in terms of, from your perspective of your journey, and you see kids probably starting or even adults, what is something that you share consistently about where somebody wants to get to when they're frustrated, they don't have it yet or whatever, stuff like that?
I would say create room. Create room for mistakes. Some of the
absolutely.
Some of the things that are the most frustrating for us is being impatient.
Yes, especially younger generation.
Yes.
I mean, we can be impatient, but I teach high school students, and they get everything like this. In seconds. So I have piano students. I tell them the same thing. I said, music is one thing you can't microwave.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we talk about AI, but that's different. But in terms of your skills, your fingers will not be able to play something without putting in the work.
Yeah,
that's it. And your voice will not be able to sing something without learning some technical way to approach it.
No, honestly, I feel for these students, this new generation. I really feel for them because they are bombarded with finished products. When they go on their phone, too. Fake. I mean, what I'm saying, but for them, it's
finished. Yeah.
Or
it's the best. It's the best.
Yes, best of whatever you watch. Even
if
it's not really real, but they're bombarded all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never seen a generation that don't really that are so unsure about what they want to do with their lives. I've never seen a generation.
Wow.
It's not because they don't know there's too many options that's hitting them on a daily basis.
But not just that. I think it's options that's hitting them and there's the perception that other people know what they want to do.
Yes.
Other people got it figured out, and I don't.
Yes.
So now mental doubt and all that stuff. So it's crazy.
So for me, that's the thing I would say, being patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that about students, but now I find myself teaching teachers that.
Yeah. Yeah.
With, I've developed a curriculum now to teach teachers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go to schools and everything, and doing professional development to teach these young, because the turnover.
It's crazy. Yeah. All over.
Teachers everywhere.
Yeah. They I would say probably in other jobs too, but definitely in education.
Oh my God. So what used to happen when you was teaching and I was teaching?
Yeah.
It was like the long suffering. I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna get it.
These teachers today.
Yeah.
They still live at home with mom.
Yeah.
Right? They walk in the class.
Yeah.
These kids are unruly, or nobody
don't want to hear
understands them.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
I can go back and live with my mom.
I'm still with my mom. I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So
So the turnover is crazy.
Yeah.
But over the years watching this, and also being in the school system and teaching kids, and I think I've had great success of being able to get kids to learn by using different methods. Like,
right.
You and I in school, where we've learned these three methods, the Kodai and all of those things. It's like, some of it is relevant to certain things you're teaching, but a lot of it, there's so many new things music has evolved so much.
And there's people, I see stuff on Instagram. I just saw something the other day where a guy was just using regular words to articulate rhythms, and he showed you the word in a rhythm, and it made sense. And I'm like, this is effective.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
and
effective
I
teaching.
think school don't teach enough effective
of finding creativity to do it. It's just like this. So is the method.
Stuck. I think I always say that college is the old institution that's never changed.
Right.
In our world, it's never changed, and it's not doing a good service to the new generation that's going through it, because the world, by the time if a student go to college today, right,
whatever they learn is probably going to be irrelevant.
It's going to be gone.
Yeah, that's true.
And that goes along
and
with
that's
music.
even worse if you're learning from professors who are fixed in their mindset.
That's what I'm saying.
Which a lot,
it's like a bias.
Some are,
thing,
you know what I'm saying? Some are just like, this is the way you learn music theory,
exactly.
per se. Or this is, and it's not that it wasn't effective. It's just some things are wait. Our kids are learning like a whole different math.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
in other countries they learn math a different way. It's like, no, we do it this way now.
Exactly.
Like, what?
It's like, why? It's like,
but it don't matter. It works.
But it works.
Exactly.
But and I think that's the thing, with teachers. It's almost like growing up. I was from the era where teachers were literally like in the music world, where they had a bias against theater music. They thought that was like subpar. Like,
right. That's not
people
the
that
elevated.
can't sing classical.
Right. We'll go sing on Broadway or something.
Broadway, that whole thing. It's like, what?
Or even to pop music. I remember people like down in pop music.
Pop music
because,
and all that. This is not
technical.
music.
The technique wasn't.
Like people that sing opera will talk down to.
Yeah. I mean, or jazz
singers.
Oh yeah. They still do. Unfortunately. They're like, I really know my theory. You don't know your theory, and it's like, bro, but not that there's nothing to it. It's amazing to know what you know. Like,
exactly.
When you know your stuff, you know your stuff.
Exactly. But when you're stuck there,
and there are people who make 10 times the money you do, and they don't know half of what you know.
And this is
because it doesn't matter. And you envy them on that side. You think it's not fair, but you're not understanding. Like, you decided to dig deep, and that's okay. That's great.
Exactly.
Because it is amazing to be deep in your craft. It's also good to have commercial success if you can have that. And there's a way to have both. There's people who do it all the time, who have integrity in their craft and they have success.
Exactly. You have to evolve.
Yes.
That's why a lot of institutions are suffering right now.
People probably hated Herbie Hancock when he started playing synthesizers.
Of course.
In jazz.
Of course. else.
It was like, man, that ain't jazz.
What is that?
But he's still one of the most prolific pianists. You know what I'm saying?
He's in so many movies, you don't even know that's him.
And but he's evolved. You know what you said. Like he's like, this is technology. Or even the late, what's my man name? Chick. You know, like same thing. Synthesizers and you know, people.
Stevie Wonder was in.
People were dissing synthesizers though at a point, and now it's like it's on everything.
It's
you know what I mean? And so, I mean, listen, man, we could talk forever.
Yeah,
bro.
yes,
we could talk forever. I appreciate you coming and
sure.
you know, sharing with the audience, and you know
sir.
what are they going to see? I know you still tour with the Sam Cooke show and stuff like that. So
I'm doing that. I'm writing a whole brand new show now.
Nice.
So, but I'm still doing concert. Like this year, well, in 3 weeks, I'm actually doing a jazz concert. That's another part of me being evolved. A classical pianist is doing a jazz concert like this, you know, which was very well pleased because it sold out in 4 hours.
Nice.
From the announcement. So it was, I couldn't believe it.
That's great.
So, you know, I'm doing that. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of teaching, you know, for like teachers. I think now, where that's the part where I was telling you that, you know, I'm not playing, I'm just speaking, and people are paying me for my knowledge that I've gained over the years of how to, you know, the program that I developed is teaching music in a cultural way, cultural relevant way. So I will add things like Kendrick Lamar to music notes. You know, and kids will pay attention. So a teacher will find value on that.
Absolutely.
You know, how to teach teacher how to connect with students. So these are the things that I'm doing. And beside this is the scoring.
Yeah.
You know, so stay tuned. So hopefully, you know, you guys
check them out on one of those streamers.
Yes, sir. You know, that's another part of the calling I feel like God wants me to tap in.
It's crazy. You brought up what you said. I just got to reiterate this. When you talked about just being patient as a like, I had to do they called it a NED talk, but it was like a TED talk thing at my school, and that was basically what my message was. It was like a 10-minute message, but it was like you gotta learn how to endure. You know what I'm saying? Like what, you know, he who endures to the end. You know, the race is not given to the swift, neither to the strong, but to the ones that endure. And that's in everything. That's in whatever. Like, do not stop well doing, because you'll reap a harvest, and if you faint not. So those things to me, I think they apply to us. We see, you know, where the ceiling can come off after just grinding, just working. And I think that's a powerful message. So
no, man, endure with preparation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to prepare for what's coming.
Your edge. You know, I'm still on the stage right now is because I always want to have my edge.
Yeah.
While I endure the weight process of those things that I'm working on, which is the scoring and all of those things, I always make sure that I keep my so I always continue to challenge myself. Yeah. So endure with preparation.
I think that's an important lesson for people of our age too. Yeah. Because I think people give up, you know what I'm saying? After a while, like life is like, but I feel like as long as you're here, there's time. As long as you're here, there's time. There's a reason why you're still here.
Leverage your time very well.
Absolutely. You know, and like you said, prepare for the future. Like, you want a future, you got to build it now. It's built in the present.
Exactly.
So
yeah, man.
Thank you again to my brother, Jerry Paul Handel. Handel.
Let's go.
All right. Thank you. And like, follow him. How can they follow you?
Well, Jerry Compere, Jerry Music Score 1 on Instagram, and also it's Jerry Music Score 1 at Facebook. Yeah.
All right.
And I'm on TikTok too, so it's the same.
Okay, so it's follow him, Jerry Music Score 1. All right. Thank you, my brother. All right.
Thanks for listening. To stay up to date between episodes, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you liked what you heard today, or if there's something specific you want us to dive into next, leave us a comment. Catch you in the next episode.